The holographic display flickered to life in the center of the War Council chamber, casting blue light across the faces of the assembled Galactic Coalition representatives. Commander Zixthor, a towering Krellian with chitinous plates covering his massive frame, gestured toward the projection with one of his 4 arms. "This footage was recovered from the Viridian front," he announced, his translator device rendering his clicks and whistles into standard Coalition speech. 16 cycles ago, before humanity joined our alliance, we've been studying Precursor artifacts for generations, but this changes everything." Skylar sat in the back corner of the chamber, her arms crossed, dark eyes fixed on the floor. She'd been summoned without explanation, pulled from her routine survey mission on the Outer Rim. Now, surrounded by dozens of alien dignitaries and military officials, she felt distinctly out of place. Xavier stood beside her, equally uncomfortable. He leaned closer and whispered, "Any idea why they dragged us here?" She shook her head slightly, auburn hair falling across her face. "No clue." The hologram began to play. It showed an ancient battlefield, the ruins of a Precursor installation stretching across a barren planet. The architecture was impossibly old, predating every known civilization by millions of years. The Precursors had vanished eons ago, leaving behind only fragments of their existence and tantalizing hints of their incredible power. In the footage, a massive war machine dominated the screen, a Precursor Guardian, 20 meters tall, its body composed of living metal that shifted and reconfigured as it moved. Its weapons systems hummed with energy that made the recording equipment distort and glitch. "The Precursors," Zixthor continued, "were the first, the architects of known space. Their technology remains beyond our understanding. This Guardian was excavated by the Vexari Collective, who believed they could control it." The footage showed Vexari soldiers, insectoid warriors known for their brutality, attempting to breach the Guardian's outer shell. The machine activated with terrible purpose. What followed was a massacre. The Vexari forces, thousands strong, were annihilated within minutes. Energy beams carved through armor like paper. Gravitational wells crushed entire battalions. The Guardian moved with impossible grace, each gesture precise and utterly lethal. Skylar felt Xavier tense beside her. She glanced at him and saw his jaw clench, a muscle twitching near his temple. "However," Zixthor said, pausing the footage on the triumphant war machine, "something unexpected occurred." The hologram resumed. A single figure appeared in the frame, small, insignificant against the towering Precursor Guardian, humanoid, wearing battered combat armor that bore no insignia or identification. The chamber erupted in murmurs. Several delegates leaned forward, their various sensory organs focusing intently on the display. The lone figure moved across the battlefield with fluid efficiency. While the Guardian's weapons tracked larger threats, the human, for it was clearly human, though the Coalition had not yet encountered humanity at that time, closed the distance. They climbed the machine's leg, found purchase on its chassis, and began working their way toward what appeared to be a critical junction point. "Impossible," breathed Ambassador Queln, a crystalline being whose thoughts manifested as melodic tones. "The Guardian's defenses should have—" The human produced a crude explosive device and planted it at the junction. They descended rapidly, taking cover behind a debris field. The explosion was small, almost insignificant, but it triggered a cascade failure. The Guardian's movements became erratic. Its weapons fire grew wild and uncoordinated. Then the human charged back in. What happened next defied belief. The lone warrior fought the dying war machine in close combat, using its own momentum against it, exploiting vulnerabilities that should have been impossible to identify. The footage quality deteriorated as energy discharges interfered with the recording, but the outcome was clear. The Precursor Guardian fell. The human stood atop its shattered core, silhouetted against the alien sky. Then they turned directly toward the camera, as if aware they were being watched across time itself. The face was obscured by a helmet, but something about the posture, the way they held themselves, spoke of exhaustion and grim determination. The hologram froze on that image. This warrior, Zixthor said solemnly, accomplished what entire armies could not. They destroyed a Precursor Guardian with primitive weapons and tactics we cannot fully comprehend. The question that has haunted us since recovering this footage is simple. Who were they? Skylar had stopped breathing. Her hands gripped the armrests of her chair so tightly her knuckles had gone white. Beside her, Xavier whispered, barely audible. "Mute it. I don't like hearing myself." Every head in the chamber turned toward them. Zixthor's eyes, all 6 of them, fixed on Xavier. You are the warrior in the footage?" Xavier stood slowly, his expression carved from stone. "That was a lifetime ago. Different war. Different person." "And the audio?" Zixthor asked. "We've never been able to decrypt the vocal recordings from that battle." "Trust me," Xavier said quietly. "You don't want to." Skylar finally found her voice. "Why show us this? Why now?" The Krellian commander's posture shifted, becoming almost reverent. "Because we face the hegemony, an enemy that wields technology approaching Precursor-level sophistication. And because we discovered something else in our archives." Another hologram appeared, a younger woman, clearly Skylar, fighting alongside Xavier in different footage from the same era. "You both fought in the Viridian campaign. You both survived what should have killed you. You both know how to fight enemies that outmatch us technologically." "We were soldiers," Skylar said, "following orders, trying to stay alive." "You were more than that," Zixthor insisted. "The Precursors were gods in metal and energy, and humanity learned to kill gods." He stepped closer, his massive form somehow conveying desperation. "Teach us. The hegemony advances on 7 fronts. We're losing, but if we could understand how you think, how you fight..." Xavier and Skylar exchanged glances. In that moment, 1,000 unspoken memories passed between them, the screaming, the blood, the friends lost, the impossible victories won at costs too high to measure. "We're not heroes," Xavier said finally. "We're survivors. There's a difference." "Then teach us to survive," Zixthor pleaded. Skylar stood, her decision made. "We'll need full tactical access, autonomous operational authority, and immunity from political interference." "Done." Xavier sighed, a sound heavy with the weight of old battles. "And for the record, keep that footage muted. Some sounds should stay buried." As the council erupted in relieved discussion, Skylar touched Xavier's arm gently. "You okay?" He looked at the frozen hologram one last time, at the warrior he'd been, at the person he'd tried to leave behind. "No, but when were we ever?" She smiled grimly. "Never." "Let's go teach aliens how humans wage war." Together they walked toward their new command, carrying with them the terrible knowledge of how to fight the impossible and win.